When searching for articles, particularly in electronic databases, oftentimes a number of different publication types will show up in your results set. And it's important to be able to tell these different kinds of publications apart. The databases will do some of this for you. You can see that in this quick set of results. The first result is labeled as an academic journal, and a quick look at the title sort of confirms for me that that's probably what this publication is. And the second result is labeled as a periodical, and I look at the title and I see it's a New Republic, which is sort of a newsstand publication. And that seems relatively accurate, but I will say that in my experience I found that these categories provided by the database itself don't always capture the exact identity or type of publication for a given article. So it's good to know how to tell different types of publications apart, particularly being able to separate academic journals, trade journals, and general interest or popular publications. The library has a very helpful set of criteria to use in doing this kind of evaluation of your source. And if you go to the library's homepage, or any of the library pages, under the top menu, under Get Help, you'll see there's a link for scholarly versus popular sources. And this provides you with a grid or a table of lots of different criteria to use, and they're organized into rows, different categories of criteria, and then each column represents a different type of publication. There's a lot of information here, and this page is a little overwhelming, so there's some built-in tools that will help you use this a little easier. One is that you can drag and drop any of the rows in the table. So if you wanted, for instance, to juxtapose sources with purpose, you could put them next to each other just by dragging one up to the level of the other one. You can also toggle individual or all of the rows on and off if you just want to isolate a couple to look at. So now that I've got purposes and sources next to each other, I can toggle off all of the other rows and then turn these two back on, and then I can focus my attention just on these two rows of criteria. You'll also notice that some of the entries here have links, and if you click on one of these, you'll immediately see a pop-up window with an illustration of the thing in question. So in this case, the link here leads to an image of a bibliography from a scholarly journal. So these things are helpful as well. They sort of give you some of the information that the criteria here discuss in visual context from results from things like Google Scholar or from library databases. There are a couple of ways to use this tool, and it's best to use both in combination. The first is to get familiar with the criteria here for each of the source types. Use the interactive features of the tool to drag and drop different rows of criteria next to each other to compare them. You can toggle all of them off to give yourself an uncluttered view of the page and its contents, and then selectively turn on rows to see only those and isolate various qualities. The other thing to do is when you have results from a database search or a particular article in hand that you're thinking about using in your bibliography, compare it to these criteria and see for whatever type of article you need if the one you found fits these criteria. This will help you avoid misusing a source that might turn out to have a different purpose or audience than it appears to at first glance. As you search for sources and evaluate them, you're always welcome to talk to a librarian. You can use our Talk to a Librarian page here to chat directly with somebody, or you can look up librarians by subject or name. If you know the name of your liaison librarian, you can look them up here, or you can look them up by subject here. And you're always welcome to call the help desk if you have questions, and the email address listed here will work as well if you just want to get your question out there and have someone get back to you right away.